Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hope everyone is here having a good time tonight. Thanks to all the people who joined. Let me see, who do we have on tonight? We've got quite a few folks. Quiet Side of the Moon. Diplo, Heisenberg, and Lunette I. Kosak. There you go. So thanks y'all for coming. Today's been an interesting day. Been hanging out in the finest of medical buildings. Let me see what we got going on. All right. Let me see if we have anybody new who's followed us. Let's see. We have Vivesh Shawari. Oh, my bad. Apologize. Cheeto Bandito. Okay, so we've had a couple of followers. Thanks to everybody who joined last night. We went over one of the milestones for Twitch, so that was pretty cool. A month ago we didn't have anybody, and now we've got roughly 200 people, which of course is nothing to bigger Twitch streamers, but it's just nice to know that people find value in what we're doing here and like hanging out and talking about security. So it's not always going to be about security. As a matter of fact, next week this time I am hoping that myself and our gaming group will be on. So we'll be taking a bit of a departure from the security realm and trying to do some role-playing stuff. So also, I think this, if it's not this week, is going to be next week, might be the last of our everyday streams, just because Sunday will be a month, and I think we're slowly building our audience in a good way and in a positive way, not buying bots or people to join us, what have you. So really liking where we're going with this, and hope everyone is too, and finding value in what we're doing here. So so as I was sitting in the doctor's office, this was one of the things that came up on the. Let me just get rid of stage view here, or studio view. Okay, so obviously this looks legit. Found this in a truck stop bathroom. Which computer should you put it in first? Ideally, don't put this in anything. It has all the hallmarks of a poisoned apple. For those of you not aware of what a poisoned apple is, it used to be back in the day when you were doing, say, physical pen tests or whatever, and it may still be the case today. I don't know. I haven't actually done a physical pen test. I've just talked to a lot of people who do them and seen people tweeting about it. You would drop a thumb drive out in a parking lot or in a hallway or in a lobby or someplace like that, especially if it's a lobby of someplace that you're trying to get a shell on or gain a foothold into the environment. And that's assuming you don't, show up, like my friend Kevin does with his UPS driver uniform, asking for, where should I deliver this package, which just happens to have a land turtle or a bash bunny or something inside of it that's going to allow him to plug it into a box and gain a shell. But so this feels very much a poison apple-y. It's an SD card with a micro SD card inside of it. It may, devil's advocate, it may legitimately have crypto stuff on it, but I wouldn't just be blindly plugging this into a box. Gone are the days where auto runs and stuff would automatically start something up. Windows 11, I believe Windows 10 has also gotten better at doing just auto runs where it'll ask you for permission to run things, but some well-meaning person will plug this in either because of greed or they legitimately want to make sure that somebody isn't missing their Bitcoin or their Dogecoin and, run this, or, they'll find an exe file or a readme.scr file or something like that on the system or on the file system, and, run it and own up their entire environment. So, it's, you see stuff like this, the best thing to do is to pick it up and throw it away. Yes, somebody may legitimately have lost Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Ethereum or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, unless you are a malware or reverse engineering fan and you have a very safe place with which to, put this and explode whatever it is that's in there. But yeah, I mean, you're very rarely going to find somebody who's just dropping their crypto wallet somewhere. So exactly. Exactly. It's a trap. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Bitcoin wallet. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, yeah, that's an older meme, sir, but it checks out. The magnet holding the floppy disk. So for those young kids out there, this is what we used to consider a high quality storage device. So there you go. Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, burner Raspberry Pis, for instance, yeah, that's definitely the case. But yeah, so yeah, that. Oh my goodness, there's. Oh yeah, so yeah, wow, yeah. What happened to the days where you could actually have an entire operating system on a floppy disk drive? How did it get so bloated like that? I don't quite understand. I mean, I used Firefox when it was called Firebird, and then somebody realized, oh, Firebird is the name of a really old database system and probably has trademarked their name, so they ended up having to change it to Firefox. The it was the new kid on the block. I mean, when there was IE and Netscape and then Firefox, and it was like really lightweight. It was beautiful. It was very very easy to use, and it wasn't bloated. Um, you could install it in like 20 megs or something like that. It's sad that we're at this point. So is the stream going or is it just me having connectivity issues? Oh gods. I hope that that's not the case. I see myself. I see the stream output. Oh, great. Let me go. I have to boot up my other machine here. I've got 2 viewers, so I will email or I have 2 viewers, so I have 2 viewers. Is anybody else having issues? If you're on the chat stream with me, can you tell me if everything is fine? I rebooted my box before we started because last night I was having issues. So what I tried to do was remove that as a likely issue. Twitch. We are at twitch.tv/breaksec. Okay, so please tell me I'm not having any issues. Okay, it is spinning. Okay, oh, there's an ad. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's not good at all. Hello. Oh, ticket to meme land. Let me run the progressive commercial first. I don't know why the progressive commercial is on there. That's not nice. Apologies to everybody who's watching stream commercials. I was unaware of that, so all right. No, I can see it. I can see it on a separate machine. It's looking good. I mean, yeah. So I love how they labeled the adapter and not the card. Do you know the card isn't? How do you know the card isn't labeled? Okay, so seems to be working well enough. Let me hold on. Might be getting some feedback here. 1 second. Okay, so double check audio. Make sure we have text speakers. Don't know if I can hear myself or not. Oh, that's not good. Can anybody hear me? Okay. That's really weird. Okay. I'm hoping that that's working. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. It's one of our friends from Black Girls Hack. So. Someone join the stream. I'm asking one of my hopefully slackers that will be nice and hook us up here. Join the stream and tell me if there's an issue. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to keep going. Worst comes to worst, we'll work on it together. So, what did somebody say here? Oh, yeah. I had replied originally that, yeah, somebody would get infected with it. That was probably pretty good. So, no, it's been busy for me too. Latrinda said, no fault to you. I'm trying to tune in daily, although the last week's had me busy. Yeah, it's been an interesting week for me as well. So, it's been an interesting week for me as well. There we go. Okay. So if anybody's actually watching the stream, let me know if they're having issues with the audio, if there's anything else. I'm seeing it clip quite a bit, so I'm going to try turning down the volume there. Oh, sure, now that works, but the other stuff doesn't. So that's fun times. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's been a good week. So, all right. Some sad news to find out about. The creator of the GIF or GIF or what have you passed away. Person who has both helped and hurt the internet, probably in more ways than one. Yeah, passed away after. Let me see. Did he pass away of illness or what? Let me see. He's one of the lead inventors. Okay, so he did. Oh, he died from COVID. Oh, well, that's not very good. Dang it. Yeah, poor guy. Well, that's too bad. Wish we should have been under better circumstances. 74 years old. His wife Kathleen. His obituary page notes that even with all his accomplishments, he remained a very humble, kind, and good man. So the graphics interchange formats, that's what GIF stands for. So, okay, what did he say? He said he invented GIF all by himself. He actually did it at home and brought it to work when he perfected it. What did he say? He said it was actually pronounced JIF, not GIF. But the problem is it's not the graphics interchange format. It's graphics interchange format. How about that? He just invented the GIF, format at home. He just, GIF formats at home. If I open the door, will you come in? People are going to want to see you because they can hear you. Okay. You just sit there. That's one of my furry children. So, unfortunately, I have made it so that. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and get her because she's just being a booger. So, all right, 1 second here. All right, well, 1 second. Yeah. Come on. I know you're gonna be internet famous. See, look. See, you'll be internet famous. See, look at that. There we are. Say hello, monkey. No. You're not gonna. You don't want to be internet famous. Oh. No. What's wrong with you? It is talking cat. Yeah. Hello, at John's Inn. Appreciate that. She's my punk, my little fur baby. So if I shut the door, obviously she wants to be in here with me. Usually that happens only during podcasts, but she'll look around the corner because we have a corner where you go and slightly right. She'll just sit there and go meow, meow, and annoys my wife. So, are you talking cat? You are. Oh my goodness. Yes, we adopted her and her 2 children, about 11 years ago. All right, come on. You're going to come? You're going to leave now? Okay. Go on. There you go. And, yeah, I adopted her and her 2 children about 10 years ago, and yeah, they just run the house. We just live in it. So we bought them a nice, home here in Seattle, and they just allow us to live here. So hello April, how you doing? Glad you could join us. um, thank you for hanging out. I didn't mean to put my cat on, but some people said it makes me look more human. So so I thought, well, I might as well make sure that that's a thing. So my only regret is that I did not make the camera window larger so that you could see her in all her glory. Yeah. Um, yeah, if her and her daughter Powder. So it's Mama Kitty. Mama Kitty's original name was Snowball, but I grew up with another white cat that, as a child, I called it Mama Kitty, and that's pretty much what this one got called, Mama Kitty, even though she's the mother of the children. Powder and Q-Tip. Q-Tip is our boy, our chonk. Oh, he's a hefty boy. He got some heft to him. He's about 20 pounds, which is, I don't know, about 800 kilos or something like that. Anyway. He's a chonk. He's major chonk. But yeah. So yeah, they're our 3 children and our 4th child, who is getting up there in age too. But yeah, they're our loves. So so yeah, this guy got a Lifetime Achievement Award for the GIF, or the JIF in this case. And then he said his favorite animated one was the Dancing Baby, which just creeps me out. Ever since they showed it on Ally McBeal, 30 years ago, it's creepy, and I can't do it. So, so April, you're oh yeah, hey April. Everything sound good? Because we had somebody tell me that maybe the audio was kind of janky. So if you have any issue, just let me know. So, yeah, April's been on our show a couple times, I think. So, glad she was able to join us here. And yeah, it's sad. He retired. Let me see. Wow. So he worked at CompuServe. Most people just say I dialed into that. Okay, excellent. I appreciate that. Thank you. Most people just say they dialed into it, but this one he actually worked there. So that's pretty cool. Let me turn on performance mode again. After Steeman retired, the couple traveled together. One of the most memorable trips was a trip to Grand Canyon. While at home, he liked to work on his model train set. I mean, this guy was like, I don't want to say the epitome of nerds, but he had a basement. I'm imagining he did have a basement. There you go. House we built had a whole section in the basement for his trains. I'm imagining, he had his trains on one side, and then he had his wargaming / Dungeons and Dragons pit, that kind of thing. So that sounds like that would have been a cool house to be in. And still the baby's creepy. I can't do it. I can't. But thanks to folks like Stephen Wilhite, we have a lot of. I mean, thank God he didn't invent Flash, because he would have been very polarizing. But yeah, the inventor of the GIF is there. So there you go. Godspeed, sir. Hope you create something else in the next life. So all right. So yeah, baby's creepy, right, Paige? Yeah, absolutely. Paige and Sec, we've had her on the show as well. One of our moderators on our Slack channel. Thank you, Paige, for checking in. I'm glad we had some people come to my aid there. I was just making sure that our stream was sounding good. So I think we're okay. You missed the cat, Paige, if you didn't have a chance to see it. So last night, I think we talked about LAPSUS and the fact that the Telegram that apparently LAPSUS used had 45,000 members, which is a lot of people. And apparently, LAPSUS has a very bad OPSEC. And apparently it's been so bad that they've been known about for almost a year. So I've read more than one article today when I was waiting for my wife to get out of her doctor's appointments. Apparently, one of the leaders of LAPSUS is a 16-year-old from Oxford, England. and not to beat the stereotypical hacker drum, but he's a 16-year-old that lives with his mother in Oxford. Teenager who amassed 14 million or 10.6 million pounds sterling in hacking, was apparently outed by people that were disgruntled towards him. See, there you go. You're gonna get to hear it for the next few minutes. So yeah, the City of London have arrested 7 teenagers in relation to the gang, but will not say if he is one. The boy's father told him, he's a good boy. He's always trying to keep him away from computers. The boy's father told BBC his family was concerned in trying to keep him away from his computers. Oh my goodness. LAPSUS is a relatively new, most talked about and feared hacker cybercrime gang after successfully breaching major firms like Microsoft and then bragging about it online. Yeah. What's that about the brightest flames burn twice as bright but burn out quickly or some junk like that? It was only a matter of time. So 7 people between the ages of 16 and 21 have been arrested in connection with an investigation of a hacking group. Boy's father told BBC, I never heard any of this until recently. He never talked about any hacking, but he is very good on computers and spends a lot of time. I always thought he was playing games. Okay. All right, that's great. We're going to try to stop him from going on computers. I think that ship has sailed, Dad. Yeah. And the boy's mother apparently thinking twice before saying anything to the Beeb, decided to not say anything, which is probably the safe bet. So he was doxxed on a hacker website. So they posted a biography of his hacking career. He's accumulated so they mentioned him. Allison Nixon, of course, awesome person. She works over at 221B, cybersecurity investigation company. They've known about him for about a year now, they said. Yeah, researchers tracked him through a trail of activity linked through nearly unbroken stream of the boy's online accounts. This is one of those things where OPSEC, if you want to be a bad guy, you pretty much have to go underground, and you have to stop using your own personal accounts. Everything just has to be spot on, because as we've seen and heard, there's numerous investigations out there where somebody got discovered because their Tor browser crashed and it threw out the real IP address or something for about 5 seconds, or somebody logs in one time to check their command and control sites instead of going through the 15 firewalls that they have in place. And it sounds like these folks just didn't care. LAPSUS just didn't care, and they had already been sloppy. So this whole year has been building up a case or keeping track of them, and hopefully, my guess is the reason they waited so long to actually put the drop on these folks was they wanted to find more people to see to get all of the people involved. So Maybe Okta was the tipping point where people are like, yeah, maybe we let it go for too long. Maybe we need to stop this now because it's kind of a big deal. The one thing I would wonder if I were Okta was, why didn't y'all tell us about this? Why didn't you tell us they were in our all our bases are belonging to them right now? Why didn't they contact? Why didn't we get contacted or at least told? We could have played dumb. We could have put up some honeypots. We could have put up something to, create some sort of mechanism to reduce our attack surface. There's said little is known of the origins of the group. However, considering LAPSUS's initial activity was directed towards several organizations in Brazil, some researchers speculated the group was based in South America. I think this is an example of people assuming too much. Just because they were in South America doesn't necessarily mean they were in South America. We're going to probably find out potentially more once 221B puts out I'm sure there's going to be a write-up, or it's going to be in the Verizon wireless, the Verizon data breach information report, the DBIR. security company Okta admitted it had been okay. Yeah. So yeah. Long story short, bad OPSEC had been breached. Your rival hackers probably bragged too much, and somebody decided to do an evil raid. So yeah. Yeah, it's it. I mean, big thing now is is the U.S. going to ask for extradition of this person back to the U.S. to for crimes because of Microsoft or Okta or what have you? As we have seen in England, they are loath to do that. There was, I think, what was it, Lori Love? Lori Love was a hacker, and this one sticks in my craw a little bit because he was interviewed on Risky Business. Let me see, what was it, 2016? Just around the 2016 timeframe, and there was questions about his, or I'm sorry, it is him, it is he. Okay, he was. British activist. He was involved with Anonymous, and he got into some government stuff. And the interview that he gave Patrick on Risky Business was very tongue in cheek. It felt like oh, I have no idea about that and whatever. And I think it was probably not suggested by his lawyer to do that stuff. But it ended up he did not get extradited to the U.S. because his extradition would be oppressive by reason of his physical and mental conditions. I think they stressed that he had, his father testified that he is autistic and should not be extradited. If you read in this article, he also is, the BBC was also mentioning that this person not suffers, but has autism as well. And so if that is the case, the chances, I mean, there's case precedent in the UK for not extraditing people because of diagnosed disorders. So it could be used in a court of law to make sure that he spends time in a nice UK prison versus, 45, 50 years in a US prison, or how much ever it is. But ideally it would be, they'd be citing, the extreme sentencing of U.S. prison and court systems for that. So, but yeah, so he's, I guess let me see. I actually didn't hear what happened to him. Okay, so he's actually out. 2016, Lord Justice upheld the extradition, and so he may still be, they're still taking legal action. Okay, so yeah, he's not going anywhere. So, I mean, Gary McKinnon was extradited, but that was under a different Home Secretary. So, depending on who is the Home Secretary at the time, you may see a different deal here. But yeah, so looks like he got away with whatever he did, or he spent some time in home arrest or what have you. But he's Laurie Love did not come to the United States, and I'm guessing that even if they did arrest this person because this person is underage, be less likely to send them to the United States. So, I mean, there'd be like restitution and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, I was also, I was on Twitter a lot today. So one of the things that came up was Malware Jake. Had him on for Sunflower Con as one of our mega panelists, talking about the comms about Okta from the perspective of an incident responder and somebody who's worked numerous incidents with third parties involved. So I was reading through this. I agree with a lot of it. He says that Okta is a victim, and as such, this isn't meant to target Okta for being a victim. They wanted to talk about how things were handled after it became clear there was compromise. So, Okta using a third-party servicer that itself is a big deal. Any organization the size of Okta must have good contracting and oversight and third parties in place, right? That would certainly include incident reporting from third parties. There's a foundational breakdown that Okta is yet to address. Sure, Okta is disappointed in the time it took to get complete forensic report from Sitel, but what was happening in the interim at Okta? Right, so they had 2 months to do something, and they didn't, what was going on? If they knew that something happened at Sitel, were they quietly letting people know? Were they working on trying to add additional controls? Did they offload Sitel as a third party immediately? I mean, and most, because in most third party cases he's worked on, they don't just sit and wait. What's this say here? I'm greatly disappointed by the long period of time. Oh, this was from Bradbury, the response from them. We should have moved more swiftly to understand its implications. It's just inconceivable to me that Okta, knowing one of its services was compromised, took no action in the interim. Or maybe they did, but to my knowledge, no customers were notified. So this is the timeline that Okta put out. Okta received an alert, a new factor was added to an employee's Okta account. Okay. Okta investigated the alert and escalated it to an incident. The service desk was added to the incident to assist in containing the user's account. So all of this happened in the span of about a day or two? No, about a day, actually. So yeah, within a day, Okta shared indicators of compromise with Sitel. Sitel informed us they retained outside support from a leading forensic firm. Okay. I'm wondering, and if any of you have worked a major incident like April or Paige, are there what was the hazards about Okta, not advertising this or keeping this close to the chest, if you will, for the 2 months before they got the report? I mean, what was the impetus there? I'm trying to figure out what would have been the positives of Okta doing so. Obviously, it wasn't to craft the perfect press release. They did that in about 24 hours. So, did they want to find out if their lateral movement had been done, and because they didn't want to maybe it was because Okta is so integral to so many companies and they knew that this would have been a damaging trust issue. They didn't want to raise any flags until they were absolutely sure that there was a problem. That seems, I don't want to say logical, but that seems like that would be, if I was a technology underpinning a lot of the internet, that especially in terms of authentication and brand damage, that would have been what I would have wanted to do. Sitel had shown that they did everything they needed to do and there was no damage from the leading forensic firm. Nothing really bad happened, right? Okta didn't have to worry about, pushing any updates or mentioning that. They could have just said, well, we had a third party report came out, nothing bad happened. Sitel may have given assurances that no, we fixed it all, everything's good, nothing to see here, like Baghdad Bob from the press secretary. It could have been something like that, where it was they may have assured Okta that everything was fine and nothing to see here and move along, and Okta was like, nope, you need to get somebody in to talk about forensics and check your shit over, and that was not necessarily the case. So it was like, okay, great, we screwed the pooch. So let me see. The last point is really important. Okta's messaging heavily implied it was powerless to investigate without Sitel's report. Given my experience in these things, I'm calling shenanigans. If Okta wants to continue this narrative, they need to bring receipts. I think they could. Yeah, Okta could have investigated inside their own organization. That makes a lot of sense. More points. Please disclose a timeline and process by which Okta customers would have been notified, if not for the LAPSUS screenshots posted. Right. I mean, it only forced Okta's hand because of the screenshots, so it could have gone further. No one wants to cause panic until they're certain. And how many times did something similar and nothing happen? Exactly, April. You're absolutely right. yeah, I mean, there's going to be people out there that are, this is going to damage Okta's, bottom line. They're going to be like, well, we can't trust you anymore. And I think Okta may have been hoping that everything was really okay and there wasn't a major issue, because what they're dealing with now is probably not their worst case scenario, but it was a bad case scenario. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely correct in that respect. So he said every incident is an emerging situation. What's known changes over time. But again, recall that this incident is 2 months old. Okta's investigation began 20 January, not 10 March, as they seem to imply. There seems no excuse for early grossly misleading impact statements. Yep. In trying to scope the blast radius for this incident, our team assumed a worst case scenario and examined all of the access performed by Sitel to the super user application for a 5-day period in question. Over the past 24 hours, we've analyzed 125,000 log entries to ascertain what actions were performed by Sitel during the relevant event. We have determined that the maximum potential impact is 366. That's where I got the 366 from. Approximately 2.5% of customers whose Okta tenant was accessed by Sitel. Okay, so that's where I got the 366 from. I'll close by noting how scammy it is to cite the 125K log entries you've examined. Anyone in the field knows that can mean anything from grep to sigma, but almost certainly not we put human eyes on all these. I believe the number here to be is there to mislead lay people. Oh, okay. I wonder why he thinks that. So he thinks that they're trying to use a bunch of numbers to make it look like data was right. Hey, Sidestep, what's up? Yeah, I mean, it could be that, like, we checked all the logs, all 125,000. Everybody's going to be like, ooh, 125,000 logs. In which case, there's probably, there could be more logs. There could be, there may not be 125,000. It could just be they just pulled that number out of their, nether regions or what have you. Yeah, so. I mean, I read through quite a bit of this thread and the sub-threads and thready thread, save thread things. Yeah, so, yeah, somebody said, 120,000 log entries is nothing. Yeah, I mean, unless the 120K log entries were all actionable items, and it was really like we looked through 8 million log entries, 125,000 or 120,000 of which were actually good. So I mean, if there was something there. So I will put this link for those of you who want to see it. Somebody put it in thread, unroll threads. So if you want to take a look at that, Jake is one of senior SANS instructor. Does a lot of incident response, obviously. So if you are interested in reading through all of that, you can there. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't want to say we'll see more, but I have a feeling that we're not done. We're not done with all this. I think there's going to be some more discussion. There may be a couple of more companies, like we said. Yeah, no worries, April. But yeah, so yeah, I don't want to even get into that. That's a hot mess there. What was it? Somebody? Oh. So Daddy Coco Man is a friend of ours. He came to our he spoke at our CSEC East. He's working on his PhD right now, Daddy Coco Man. You can follow him online if you'd like. He also does DJ work as well. But yeah, he's working through his dissertation soon. You can check him out online if you'd like. But yeah, he's doing PhD candidate from Dakota State. So happy to see him, doing that. And all right, so malicious Microsoft Excel add-ins used to deliver rat malware. So researchers reported a version of the JSS loader's remote access Trojan being distributed malicious Excel add-ins. So it's a remote access Trojan. Had been circulated in the wild. It's also known as Carbonax. So anybody's been well known with that. It's a lightweight rat that can perform exfiltration, persistence, and fetch and load additional payloads, update itself, and more. So it's pretty stealthy, and it's pretty useful if you're looking to do bad stuff. Could you imagine using a rat for your IT support people want you to install? Well, I guess TeamViewer is a rat, isn't it? It's remote access, but it's not Trojan. It's a RAP, so it's a program. But it's just amazing the line, like I said, the line that we have, and I think TeamViewer was actually used for bad stuff before they had patched it. But it's kind of funny to think about software in terms of that, where it can be used for evil, and you find out, well, TeamViewer, Citrix, no, not Citrix. Crap, there's another remote access program. Just having a little snack. Says this is the box that you would see if you had been hit by this using an unsigned XLL file. XLL file. Oh, Excel add-in. Okay. And they're similar to DLLs, except they're built specifically for Excel. Okay. All right. That's good to know. When enabled, the XLL files use malicious payload inside of XL auto open function to load itself into memory, then calls and downloads the payload from a remote server and executes it as a new process by an API call. Well, sure, if you've installed it, that means the system now trusts anything that this does, which is why it's able to do the things that it does. Here's the workflow for that. Found in a malicious email attachment. Very interesting. Yeah. Oh man, I gotta tell you, if you're downloading and running attachments that people just send you with an XLL or XLM output, it's not good. Not good. So here's the retries 10, H session when HTTP open Paris, uses curl. If, break, retries countdown, yes, return, okay. So they refresh the user agent to evade EDRs to consolidate detection information from the entire network. So if you're looking for Paris or curl 7780, older versions, the JSSL loader has the same execution flow. Just for everybody. I would hope so, April. Is the Excel add-in blocked by macro controls? I would hope so. Let me see. Excel add-ins, macro control. I don't know. Maybe they may be slightly different. And it seems like that these are like. I could be wrong though. I don't use add-ins on purpose. Well, I didn't actually know that Excel had add-ins. So it looks like they're different. So like there's macros and then there's XLL files. XLL block XLLs from running. Okay. It's a group policy. You can set up a group policy object. So this policy setting controls whether users can open XLL add-in files in Excel. Oh, 2007. There's got to be a later version than that, right? Boy. How about Excel 2019? Excel 2019, maybe? 2019. How to prevent files from automatically opening in Excel. Let me see. LX start. Start in safe mode. Hold down the control key while you start Excel. Well, that's good. You can actually also set it up to start in safe mode. Escape keys. References. Nope. Let's see. Excel block. XLL add-ins. Here's another story from malicious XLL files and Agent Tesla case studies. Blog two-part series. Here we take a look at the XLL file attributes, the abused legitimate open source framework, and the final agent here. That looks like a decent write-up. Don't have time to read a 4-part bit, so. I'm glad I was able to help somebody today. Yeah, so yeah, go check your GPOs. I don't know if well, let me go back. Did I put that? Hold on, let me go back and get that. I don't know if it's going to be the same in Excel 2007, but no, that's not it. Okay, let me see. Scroll up here. Group policy home. So I don't know if this is helpful at all because it says Office in Excel 2007, but might give you some ideas if the registry key entry is still the same in Windows. There you go. It is software policies, Microsoft Office, presumably something better than 12.0, Excel security, and then file open block. And then you can put like XLM, XLL files, you know, any add-ons. So it was, what were these? You can also use YAR rules on those. So Carbonax, so XLM, yeah, XLM files, yeah, attachments. Might also be something you want to block at your email filters as well. Anything with XLM, XLL, or you know, only one allow ones you should add. Finally, the string decoding mechanism is so simple as to leave minimal footprint and reduce the chances of being detected by static threat scanners. Morphosec reports. Sure, no worries. Yeah. Did I put the bleeping computer? Yes, I did. Okay. Fin7 is a resourceful threat group. Previously delivered malware-laced USBs alongside teddy bear gifts. I remember that. Yeah. That was a couple of months ago, but I heard about that one on Risky Business as well. Attempted to hire network pen test experts by posing as a legitimate security firm and sent ransomware carrying USBs via mail post. Yes, they are quite interesting in their methods by which to get people to, you know, use their poisoned apples, if you will. But yeah. Let me see. Block XLM in registry. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. XLM macros now restricted by default for customer protection. Okay, so maybe the XLM files, April, are, but maybe the XLL stuff is not. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, I don't see anything about XLL files here, but definitely XLMs. So there's a link there. There we go. Just in case. Administrators have the option to completely block all macro usage, including user-created files, by enabling group policy, prevent Excel from running XLM macros, which is configurable via group policy editor registry key. They disabled it in 16.0, so you know, just like we mentioned in the, you know, in the registry key entry, that will probably be in like, you know, Office 16.0, Excel security, da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah. Here is the, yeah. So this is from July, where they're trying to show you disabling VBA macros, which would be something very similar. So, yeah, I found that here on the on the InfoSec. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Morgan Stanley's client accounts got owned. Oh, that's not good. Morgan Stanley Wealth Management says some of its customers had their accounts compromised in social engineering attacks. Voice phishing. Ooh. My voice is my password. Yeah. Account breaches are a result of phishing, social engineering attack where scammers impersonated a trusted entity, in this case Morgan Stanley, during oh, it's not that cool. Okay, so they called up and they were like, hello, my name is Bob. I am working for the Morgan Stanley. Please give me your credentials. I'm not saying they're Russian. I apologize if y'all are, any Russian folk on there, but yeah. Wow. Threat actor impersonating Morgan Stanley gained access to accounts after tricking them into providing their Morgan Stanley account info online. Oh, God. I mean, seriously, that's really hard because it's like people are like, that's their retirement. So they're like, oh, crap. We've noticed some odd shit on your account, odd activity, this is it was probably like, this is Morgan Stanley Wealth Management Fraud Alert System. Would you like, you're part of our customer, as one of our top flight members, we want to make sure that you're safe. How are you doing today, Mr. Johnson? And, so yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do something like that. It might have actually been, I would have been probably in until they said, hey, give me your username and or password or something like that. And then I would have been like, yeah, but that's only because I'm, kind of a security person, kind of. But yeah, that's rough. This had to have been very targeted. Like they knew that people had an account on Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, or let's see, after successfully breaching the accounts, the attacker electronically transferred money to their own bank account by initiating Zelle payments. Wow. Ouch. Bad actor was able to obtain information relating to your Morgan Stanley online account, subsequently accessing this account. Ouch. So yeah, this was very, I wouldn't say targeted, but yeah. Goodness. It's rough. That is rough. Yeah. Also, yeah, so the questions and stuff they gave out, or the guidance that Morgan Stanley gave out, is good. You can always hang up and call the organization back using the phone number found through a trusted source, such as the company's official website or a financial statement. That's excellent. That's excellent advice. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Or I wouldn't have. I would like to have believed I wouldn't click on the SMS they sent me, or would have picked up and answered the question if they had come up against that. So. Its customer list includes corporations, governments, institutions, individuals across the globe from over 41 countries. Yeah. Ouch. Yeah. Oh, Europe warns of GPS outages tied to Russian invasion. Is that by design? Are they blocking GPS over Russia in Europe, or is the EU doing that? Let's see. They warned today of intermittent outages affecting GNSS, right? That's the EU-based version, I think. Effects of GNSS. Okay, so somebody's jamming it. Sat-nav spoofing or jamming incidents expanded around the Kaliningrad region, eastern Finland, the Black Sea, and the eastern Mediterranean since Russia invaded Ukraine. GNSS jamming and/or possible spoofing were observed by aircraft in various phases of their flights, in certain cases leading to rerouting or even changing the destination due to the inability to perform a safe landing procedure. Yeah, what was that? I have a friend, he flies jets, or did, last time I talked to him. Would do corporate jets, and he would fly across the American Southwest here, and every once in a while, you would get a NOTAMs, or a Notice to Airmen, which is a bulletin telling you about various things along the way, like, for instance, in this case, they would be blocking GPS in a 100-mile range area, and they had the ability to do that. And the Notice Airman, stated you need to route around that. You need to use a different jet route or what have you. Jet routes are basically highways in the sky. when I was in the Navy, one of the things that I would do when I was stationed in Monterey, I used a program called OPARS, which is publicly available. It's not secret or anything. It's not publicly available, but they mention it. Yeah, it's the Optimum Path Aircraft Routing System. Yeah, it's probably changed quite a bit in the last few years. But the idea is that you have highways or jetways or routes that you're supposed to go to route you around things. And yeah, if you have to route around that stuff, or you have to find ways to, you know, get where you need to go, and it's going to cost you additional time and fuel. And sometimes it's, you know, the notice to airmen is like, you can't fly at 30,000 feet because of something, or you know, there's going to be a special flight and they're using this jet route and you need to not be on that jet route when that happens. I don't know what those kinds of things would be. Actually, I do, but you know, you just you don't be in the same airspace as those things. So, yeah, GPS interference alert issued by Finland. Wow. Okay, so traffic cone. Notifying of a spike in GPS interference issues around the country's border. I mean, it's not hard to do. I mean, University of Texas Austin figured out how to do it. UT Austin GPS jamming. There was a proof of concept a few years ago. They spoofed a GPS signal and made an $80 million yacht go in a different direction. I think we've also seen it where some drones in U.S. drones were crashed because they were using GPS to do guidance, and they crashed into the ground because you can make them, because GPS is what, 3-4 dimensional. So it's like, you know, how high in the sky you are. If you can set sea level at minus 10,000 feet, you know, they're going to try to correct. So they're going to go down and they'll crash into the ground. It could be anything, you know. So yeah, they were able. So this is interesting research. This is fairly old. I think they've probably gotten better at this. This happened 2013, but I remember reading that article as well. They were able to subtly coerce a 213-foot yacht off course using a custom-made GPS device. Thing is, it's not hard to overwhelm a GPS signal from a satellite because it's a very weak signal. So all you need is something that will, you know, override that signal or be a stronger signal for the GPS receiver to go, oh, I found a stronger signal. I'm going to go over here. So, yeah. So the researchers hoped their demonstration would shed light on the perils of that navigation attacks. You know, last year, Humphreys and a group of students led the first public capture of a GPS-guided unmanned air vehicle or drone using a GPS device created by Humphreys and his students. Yeah, and if you could set it directionally, so you could potentially shoot it at something or someone or a device or a vehicle, and it would automatically home in on whatever information it got it. It'd be like having 2 DHCP servers on the network and one of them being much louder than the other but giving out trash IP addresses. You know, it's kind of the same. Well, it's not really much the same thing, is it? But yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, so I mean, there's they're disrupting GPS because potentially a lot of planes will use that. But my friend who flies jets, he was like, the jets that they have these days, like the Gulfstreams and whatever, they don't fly well at all without a GPS signal. They're pretty much, beholden to them to have GPS, and it takes a lot of extra work just to get them to fly with a human if they don't have a GPS signal. So yeah, it can cause issues. And just like the airliner, the 737 that crashed in China, we don't know what happened there yet, but we'll find out in the next couple of days once the postmortem comes out from that. Let me see. Russian nationals indicted for Epic, Triton, Trisus, and Dragonfly cyber attacks on energy firms. U.S. government unsealed 2 blockbuster indictments handed down in 2021, charging 4 Russian nationals working for the nation's government with allegedly perpetrating 2 major industrial ICS cyber attack campaigns targeting the global energy sector in 2012 and 2018. So there you go. So yeah, U.S. Department of Justice Yevgeny Viktorovic. I'm not even going to pronounce that last name. Yeah. I mean, he's been indicted, which makes him, somewhat of a bad guy. April, I mean, it would only matter if you could set some kind of affinity on the second worthless DHCP server to make it make all the other hosts ignore the weaker, the less powerful, DHCP server. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you had one DHCP server constantly pinging the network saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, where the other one's like every hour or so, I mean, eventually all the hosts are going to be like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, is going to give them all their trash IP addresses. So that was what I was thinking of in terms of that. But the second unsealed indictment, so he was a computer programmer. His co-conspirators created and dropped Triton malware in an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. Malware instead triggered emergency shutdowns at the refinery. Ooh, I don't think they meant to do that. Or maybe they did. The defendants then repeatedly tried to break into the network of a U.S. company that owned similar refineries but failed. Well, he wasn't very good at it, was he? So Gladkika, I'm sorry. Well, supposedly he's a bad guy, so I don't know. Charged conspiracy, damage, and computer fraud crimes, maximum of 45 years in prison. See, this is exactly why they're not going to send that 16-year-old over here. I mean, this guy hit ICS and oil refineries and stuff, and he would be looking at 45 years if he was able to come over here. That kid's not going to come out of the UK, so he's going to spend some time in UK prison, whatever that looks like, and get out in 6-7 years. So, and then like most InfoSec people who've spent time in jail, gonna open up a consultancy or something. Second unsealed indictment from 2021 charges Federal Security Service officers Pavel Alexandrovich Akulov. I'm just dead. I'm just 3 other dudes, people, for long-running cyber attack, Dragonfly or Havoc's attacks. Charges against the FSB hackers include computer fraud, abuse, wire fraud, aggravated identity theft. Yeah, they'd be looking at big time as well. Considering the geopolitical, arena right now, I doubt that they're going to be extradited back to the United States. They're going to be stuck in Russia. Don't go to Thailand for vacation for the next, 40 years or something. They're going to be having to stay down in the Crimea area or, someplace in the Black Sea, where it's a bit more resort-like. But if they tried to go anywhere other than the Russia, then they could get picked up and extradited back. So they're not going to need passports for a while at this point. So. Okay, so let me see. Thanks to all the folks who are here. Mild Saucy, Quiet Side of the Moon. I keep thanking and welcoming these people. I'm wondering if they're just lurk bots or something. If those folks, I know Paige was here and April was here, so but yeah. Diplo Heisenberg, I think, is another one. I've already showed you the people, okay? I wish I could turn my camera over. So I have glass doors partitioning, and she's just looking up at me going, wah, wah. You're the worst. Oh my goodness. Okay. So if you come here for Elden Ring streams, you picked the wrong place, because I don't play games on the stream here. I don't play video games on the stream. But apparently, the latest Dark Souls gaming franchise, which is Elden Ring, which if you want to go see any of the 5,000 streams that are available for people playing this, has a vulnerability that allows bad actors to throw players into an endless loop of losing their characters' lives, making the game essentially unplayable. So The bug appears to be a remote code execution flaw that's being exploited to render the game unplayable for victims. Late February release went off smoothly for a time, and PC players were, oh, this is only PC players. Okay, so I was thinking, would they say players on PCs? I was thinking PCs like player characters and not non-player characters. But these are computers, not consoles or what have you. PC players were able to access online play without incident. March 16th, Tokyo-based company announced the sandbox game had sold 1 million units. Okay, so the smooth sailing ended a week ago, and attackers found a way to break into PC players' games, throw their avatars into an endless loop of dying, coming back, and dying quickly again. Oh my goodness. After the first time your character dies, you're supposed to respawn at locations resembling a bonfire. Instead, Deathloop simply continues to die over and over again. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I wonder how they can get infected. Let me see. Boyd said no one is exactly sure what's going on since From Software hasn't released any specifics about the exploit. Oh, yeah, they're keeping mum on that. They don't want people using it because people may not patch or what have you. Well, this is an interesting theory. One of the theories from players is that invaders are able to edit save games somehow edit save files in-game or adjust parameters related to the victim's save points. In other words, you no longer spawn at the nearest bonfire. You respawn somewhere over the nearby ocean and instantly die on account of not being able to swim. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So the only way for PC players to avoid the bug possibility of falling victim to the bug is to switch off online play. Well, what's the fun in that? I got to play here locally. Anyone trapped in a death loop has to attempt Alt F4 rapid fire sequence of button presses and menus to try to manually respawn. This, as it turns out, is not easy to do. That sucks. Good news is they've released a patch as well as others impacting players. Players without the update will be barred from online play. Oh, that's good. And that's just from their own safety, right? So they want to make sure that people have a good gaming experience. So if you don't have the update, then you can't play. This isn't the first time developers faced issues with the Dark Souls series. Boyd pointed out in January leading up to the Elden Ring release, developer From Software was confronted with a similar RCE in Dark Souls 3. Oh, really? Y'all have a problem, don't you? Oh, the server is shut down due to RCE bug. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was in January. Okay. The bug can allow attackers to remotely execute code on gamers' computers. God, now I know why I don't play online games. Oh my goodness. Anytime I played online games, I was always on the Care Bear server. I did not do P2P or PvP stuff. Devs temporarily deactivated PvP servers across multiple affected versions. It allows the attackers to pretty much do anything, as Kaspersky researchers explained Monday. The bug allows an attacker to execute almost any program on the victim's computer. Oh my god, that's the worst. Holy crap. Oh, the remote code vulnerability affects earlier games in the Dark Souls series, leaving developers to temporarily turn off PvP across Dark Souls Remastered. Holy crap. And the same bug is reportedly an issue in the latest game version as well. Wow. Yeah, that is unfortunate, really. Yeah. So that means they may be recycling and using a lot of the same code for later versions. So, yo. Hopefully the last will see game invading, save locking, character murdering exploits along these lines. Save points and Souls titles are supposed to be one safe breathing space in the entire game. And then corrupted or tampered with and cursed with instant death is a bridge too far. Makes sense, yeah. Okay, this one's kind of funny. I was reading through this. Nestle, the chocolate company that owns, sadly, Cadbury as well, I think. Anonymous can't hack us because we leaked our own data. That's an interesting take. So Hacker group claims to have stolen and leaked a trove of Nestle's data. The company says it can't possibly be true because they actually leaked it by Nestle several weeks ago. So they say in emails to Gizmodo, Nestle spokesperson disavowed allegations from Anonymous, claiming this week to have stolen and leaked 10 gigabyte tranche from the global food and beverage conglomerate. Anonymous said it was punishing Nestle for its reticence to withdraw from Russia, as a host of other major companies have done. Data which Anonymous said included emails, passwords, and information was posted on the web Tuesday. So they say this recent claim of cyber attack against Nestle has no foundation. This was a trove of data floating around the web. Was a mistake the company made earlier this year. So we leaked our own data. Did they tell anybody about it? Because it seems like if can you self-breach? I mean, what does that sound like? I mean, oops, sorry, we accidentally dumped 10 gigabytes of data in an open S3 bucket, our bad. Okay, they did that, but nothing ever came out of it. Do they still have to report things like a breach? Or, yeah, it's really weird. Hard to hack someone who's effectively hacked themselves, right? In a follow-up email, the same company spokesperson explained the data, some of which was already public and some of which was not, had actually been published to the open internet for multiple weeks. So they pretty much sat it in an S3 bucket that was open to the world, or somebody accidentally FTP'd it to some server. Yeah. So it was detected by our security team. The appropriate review was carried out. The data was prepared for a B2B test website to perform some functionality checks. That don't sound right. I mean, so the trove of data was what they said? They said internal emails, passwords, and information on Nestle customers. It was for a B2B test website. If they have internal emails and what did they say, passwords and information on Nestle customers, that I would not see. This is where you don't use production data in your test environment. I think there was probably better ways to test a B2B website without using real data. This would be a prime example, and that doesn't sound right. Yeah, well, I mean, according to this a recent investigation by Cyber News seems to erode the narrative put forth by Anonymous. The outlet found that instead of only 10 gigabytes, publicly accessible data released amounted only to 5.7 megabytes. Interesting. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody's over-reported something. So let me see what they say right here. Just in, leaked database, the largest food company, 10 gigabytes. Telegram. So Telegram, Nestle orders.txt, partial one.txt, Nestle passwords.txt, Nestle payments.txt, and found the data sample weighed in at 5.7 megs, a fraction of the total data. So they see here. Okay, so Nestle Coffee Partners now. Boy, that makes for some odd encoding, doesn't it? I mean, I can't even put Nestle in there, right? They have some weird, janky value there. So this is the database dump. So you've got insert into, alter tables, disable keys, data dumping for sales order grid. Okay. ID, billing name, shipping address, billing address, customer name, UTF-8. There's I mean, there may be some real information here. I mean, but I don't know how big that database was. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So furthermore, at the time of writing, Cyber News cannot confirm whether the leaked data's origin were in fact from previous breaches. Okay. Well. So yeah. It could be somebody just got lucky and found it and thought that it was a legitimate website and not a test website. It could be that Nestle's playing with the narrative a little bit and it wasn't exactly a test site, or it was in beta or something and waiting to go public, and Anonymous just happened to find something. But this really goes to show that you should not be putting, non-test data on a test website. Nothing is ever good there. You can always find ways to put, legitimate test data or generate legitimate test data that way. I mean, yeah. Holy crap. Okay. So just for everybody to remember, we have Discord. If everybody's interested, we are building up our Discord. We're also still working on our Slack. I do want to be realistic, though. Eventually, the Slack may go away, but wanted to let everybody know that we do have one, Discord, if you will. If you're interested in joining it, there's a link to the Discord. I thought I had an invite. If you go bang Discord, let me guess, bang Discord. Okay, so bang Discord does work. If you use bang Discord, that'll give you another invite. I probably have about 15 or 16 of these things running around all over the place. If that one doesn't work, I can always remake it. We have a lot of stuff going on in both our Slack and our Discord. I'm trying to be realistic, though, and making it, where we're just using the Discord because I already have enough messaging systems to deal with. Also, we do have Patreon. Being a patron at certain levels will get you access to certain channels on our Discord. Also, if you decide you want to be a subscriber and you like your Amazon Prime, if you're a Prime member, you have one subscription you can give out every month. If you give it to us, great. If you have somebody else you want to give it to, that's fine too. But yeah, there's a number of ways you can add and get specific and special channels that only certain people can get access to. At certain levels on our Patreon, you get on our advisory board, so you'd be helping us with ideas. Potentially like Mr. Shecky, who's joined us from time to time. You would be, helping us maybe get guests, or hey, this sounds like a good thing to do, and we would definitely take it under advisement to do. So if you are interested in doing that, you can go check out our Patreon. You can join the Discord, and we'll give you the link to the Patreon if you want to do it that way. We're also looking for people to help boost the Discord. Giving us access to more community involvement and more ways to get our Discord advertised on the Discord community servers and stuff like that. So there are ways to do it. Otherwise, just come in, hang out with me, and chat with me. I'd just love to have people, coming back here and talking with me. I'm glad we have all of the people that we have on there right now. We are going to have Mick Douglas on this weekend, which is going to be great. We'll be able to talk with him a lot about just general defense, what to do if you think you've been owned by the Russians or some other cyber attacker. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go. What I'd love to do right now is find one of our fellow InfoSecians who are online and potentially raid them. So let me turn off the browser, and I will see what we have in the way of people on Twitch going on right now. Because what I'd like to do is to spread some love, like MT Taggart, who has been awesome and actually rated us last night. There's Critical Role, Chill Hop Music. Looks like we don't have anybody on right now. I need to follow more people on InfoSec Twitch, I think, if we're going to be doing that stuff. So, actually, Twitch is, there's a lot of stuff on here. I mean, Critical Role, I follow Critical Role because I've been trying to follow and catch up with them. There's a couple of other folks. I like Chill Hop Radio when I'm listening, when I'm working. So I'll get on there and I'll listen to that. It's nice, chill music. There's a ton of stuff. So there are Sec IT guy. MT Taggart was the person who rated us last night. This is a good one here. MT Taggart. Doink. MT Taggart. Kiera, please. She's not InfoSec. She's just a really awesome person, and I like what she does. She's pretty awesome. She's very entertaining. So, if you want to hang out with Kiera, please, you can do that as well. Let me see. Security Live is another good one. So just make sure we they're not on, but I'm going to share the love if anybody's interested in checking things out. They do a ton of different stuff, like stream devs, looks like some maker stuff, which sounds pretty cool. MT Tagger does a lot of CI/CD stuff, like Rust and whatever. So if you're interested in that, wait, let me transition.
Connected to channel security.
Yeah, so Security Live, MT Taggart, Kira, please mention her. And MT Taggart is, talking about writing code, functional versus object-oriented code, craziness. Saturday Hacker Day, incident response. So, CI/CD abuse, WTF bin updates. I mean, there's a ton of great stuff there. So, hope y'all find some good stuff out there. If you're not listening to us, I did run, I believe, a rerun, a couple of things, trying to get more people to show up, and just if you missed it, then it might be new to you. So feel free to check out any of our other streams. We have we have at least one every day, and I've tried to do more than an hour each day. So there's a ton of stuff out there for folks to listen to. And we, of course, we did 2 hours in Berlin 3 days ago on Monday night. So I may run that one as a rerun here. And it may show up on our audio podcast as well. So, we're getting infinite recursion here. I need to pause that. We're getting infinite recursion. There's a lot going on there. I don't even, okay. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. Let me stop that. Okay. Anyway, hope everyone has a good rest of their week. I'll be on tomorrow, probably around normal time, around 3:30. Last couple of nights been a little late because work and helping people out. So hope everyone takes care, has a great night. Go check out some other Twitch streams if you can. Folks that are doing their best to educate people as well. I know that I have never had the license and the ownership and the monopoly on that, and there's definitely stuff you can learn from those folks as well. So go check them out. Otherwise, take care. Have a good night. Talk to you all soon, and be safe. Have a good one later. Bye.